It is our video demonstration of the K&S 4524 AD ball bonder. It's also capable of doing ball bumping and semi-auto ball bonding. Just want to point out first is you have a Leica microscope and a additional light source here. This is a fiber optic light source, which is fed in these two lights here. And then the third one is used for your crosshair generator. So with the lights off, you'll be able to see that there is, oh no, I need to shut that. Hang on, I just want to move these out of the way. I don't know if you can see that down in there, but there was a little lighted crosshair. And what you do is you align that to the bond. So that'll assist in placing bond placement. You also have an area light here. You need additional light, and this is beneficial when you're trying to feed your wire through your capillary. I'm going to provide a setup tool for the capillary. This is for the 0.625 length capillary, and you just basically place it underneath and then set your capillary in using this set screw on the side. Okay, this is using a 1/2-inch spool of gold wire, and it's fed through this little glass tube up top. Underneath there's a tensioner here, and there's a glass slide. So that's definitely needed. You'll need to go ahead and load your wire in, your feed tube, and your glass slide. This is all explained in the manual that I'll also send along. There's a kicker. It goes through the kicker. There's a little eyelet there, and it comes down through your drag clamp here. And as I open the clamps using the clamp button, I don't know if you can see that, but both the clamp and the drag clamp open. So they'll need to be in the open position. You'll feed the wire through the drag clamp and then through your clamp and down through the capillary. Okay. Again, this will be explained in the manual. So we'll go ahead and shut this light off. On the left-hand side here, you have a keypad and a display. I don't know if you can see that display, but here is where you're going to set your bond parameters. So you have a search, power, time, and force for bond 1. I'm going to step through it by using the down arrow. This is your step back. This has a Y direction motor that's going to allow you to step back and also step forward to create a loop. And that would be your kink and reverse height settings. And then you have the speed of the motion front and back. And then you can set your loop height here too. All right. And then you'll go ahead and you'll look at search height for bond number 2. And you also put your bond parameters of power, time, and force. Also here, a tail is adjustable, as well as the ball size. Again, all explained in the manual. It's a little too much to explain right now for demonstration purposes. All right. And then finally, you can step through to the last page. Here you have modes. So there's actually 3 modes of bonding. It's standard, which is just bond 1, bond 2. There's ball bumping, which just puts a ball down. And then finally, there's single point tab. Okay. Additionally, you can change the ultrasonic time to either long or short. It's recommended for this particular setup. We use short. And then finally, you have auto. Auto, all you need to do is place the first bond. It will automatically do the step back and create the second bond for you. I'll show that immediately after following this standard bond setup. So these programs are saved. You can save them. This is currently saved as program number 1. So when the machine is shut off and turned back on, it'll go right to the program that was used prior to shut off. You can put up to 200 parameters. It's 200 different programs in here and save them. So if you say, for instance, you wanted to pull up number 2, you would just go ahead and call up 2, enter, and it'll bring up your bond parameters. In this case, I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit load. We go back to 1. And then we're at 2. Enter. And then finally, one other thing to explain is on a keypad here, you'll make your adjustments with search, loop, tail, and your step. To increase the power, plus minus buttons are used. Time, same, versus is also the same. And finally, there is a manual button here. You turn that on the manual. You'll use your chessman here, your little black button on the side. You can go ahead and do a manual on by using this black button. I'm going to switch off of that. I'll go back to standard bonding. This is your chessman. You'll position your bond position while looking through the microscope. Your left-hand button here on the chessman is used. You'll press that down. It'll stop at search number 1. Release. So it did its little tank reverse. Now it's up at loop using the parameters in the program. And then you'll go ahead and press the left side button here on the chessman. Press and hold. You can reposition if necessary. And then once you're in position, go ahead and release. As you can see, the motor steps, the stage steps back. This little wand here, that's called the NEFO wand, negative electronic flame off. That will come across after a tail is created and then create a little spark, and then you'll have your ball for your bond position number 1 again. So I'll do a couple of these. These are considered called standard bonds. And I'll just show you how it's working. It's working consistently. It's a little hard to see that the bond is being formed, but the one thing I want to point out is if, for instance, there was a problem creating the ball, you can either get a short or an open. And that'll stop the bonding process. You'll have to go ahead and fix the bond. And basically, you want to feed the wire through again, create a tail. And at this point, you can go ahead and use your manual spark. And by pushing your wand across, you can hit that. And that'll create the ball that was missing. So this is basically either a missing ball detector or a short. For instance, if the tail is too long and the wand touches the wire, you'll get a short. If the tail was too short and the ball wasn't formed, you'll get an open. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch to the auto mode that I was explaining before, where you only need to make your first bond, and then the machine will continue on to the second bond. So I'm going to change the mode on the last page from auto off to auto on. Hit enter. Start back at page 1. And here I'm just going to align the first bond. Oh, I kind of missed the search on it. But as you can see, it automatically stepped back. And then I can go ahead and make my second wire bond. On that search, release. And we'll do one more. So this is the auto on. And here, basically, all you have to do is position your first bond. Your second bond will be the step distance, and the machine does that automatically. And then finally, I'll just show some ball bumping, which is just placing a ball down and then creating a tail and a ball again. So I'm going to use the same parameters. I'm just going to go to mode, and I'll go ahead and switch it to ball bonding. I'll shut the auto off. Oh, let's hit enter here. What happens when you switch to ball bonding? The machine reinitializes. You can see that on the screen. This movement of the stage is normal. It normally sounds like that on any initialization. So on power up, you'll get the same movement. So here we're set. You can see there's only one bond parameter set. I don't know if you can see it. Just one bond is going to be done. That's your ball bond. So I'll go ahead and make a couple of ball bonds here. So stop at search, release. Well, I'm placing ball bonds down here. If, like I said, if there was a problem creating the ball, it'll be picked up as either an open or a short. And at that point, you'll have to go ahead and repair it and start a new bond. Again, a lot of this is explained in the manual. I'll send you a PDF file of the manual for the 4524 AD. Okay, that's our demonstration.